Joshua, everything you're saying is just screaming deception. Everything you're saying right now tells me that you are trying to wiggle, squirm, go any kind of direction, but take responsibility.
On November 29th, 2010, police found the bodies of Jamie Broxson and Deborah Jones. They matched DNA found on Jamie's body to Joshua Douglas and brought him in for questioning.
You seen both these girls in the news and stuff? Have you been watching any of it?
Yeah, because I was sitting there and my buddy called me. His dad works for Gulf Power, my friend Nick Johnson. His dad works for Gulf Power. He called him and told me that they just found two people behind my house. And I was sat there, I was peeking over the fence trying to figure out what was going on because I didn't even know. I just woke up.
What'd you think?
I didn't know what to think. I mean, it was a little freaky finding out that there's two dead bodies behind my house.
Did you see the pictures of the girls on the news?
No.
So did you ever know it was Jamie?
No. Until about 4 days ago, something like that, when I spotted it on TV. I mean, I'm bad about never.
Well, that's what I meant. So you have seen.
Well, yeah, like I didn't know about it like at first until about a couple of days ago, because I don't ever really watch the news. I don't never pay attention to it or catch it in time to watch anything on the news. And then I spotted it a couple of days ago.
And then you saw it was her?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think when you saw it was her?
I didn't honestly know what to think. I mean, I've never had a friend that was killed unless it was in like a car accident, just mishap or something like that. So I mean, I didn't know what to think.
Did you see a picture of that other little girl?
No, just a picture of her.
You didn't see the other one?
No, sir.
If I show you a picture, you tell me if you know her or not?
Yes, sir.
So you didn't see the second picture of the second girl on the news?
No.
You ever seen that girl before?
No, sir. I mean, she looks familiar. Like I may have went to. She was younger than me in high school, but I don't recognize her. Like knowing her wise, but I think she went to my school.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
What school did you go to?
Woodham?
Woodham. So you don't recognize her really?
No, sir.
She ever been in one of your vehicles?
No, sir.
Never?
I mean, not unless anybody else said my friends knew her, because I've had plenty of people that have borrowed my truck before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. I mean,
recently?
No.
Okay. When's the last person to borrow your truck?
There's no tell. I know it ain't nobody drove my truck but me in about a month and a half. It's been about that long since anybody's drove my truck, and I honestly couldn't even tell you who the last person it was that drove it.
So that girl would have no business in your truck then within the last month?
No.
None?
No, sir.
Do you drive any other vehicles?
Just my dad's.
Just your dad's?
And he's only home on like Monday and Tuesday of the week, and very seldom do I even drive it unless I have to go do something for him during the day.
What type of vehicle does he have?
A blue FJ Cruiser, Toyota. Those little Hummer type vehicles.
Yeah, those are pretty cool little vehicles.
I don't see how y'all like them things.
You don't beat you up, won't it?
No, there's so many blind spots in them. I don't like them.
I guess we'll just get down to it. We've got these two girls across the street from your house, okay, in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
We've got you probably being one of the last people to see Jamie. And then also we've got you where you have picked up prostitutes in the past. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I got caught a while back when I kind of relapsed on drugs and picked up somebody.
And obviously, if you were hanging out with Jamie, then you were doing crack.
No, sir, I wasn't doing that again. I've actually given that up. That last time when I got caught for picking up a girl was the last time I relapsed. I haven't touched the stuff since. Okay. I can't even stand to be around it or the smell of it.
But when you were around her before, she introduced you to it.
Yeah.
And that's how you got your crack, right?
Yes, sir.
Through her. You understand what we're saying?
Mm-hmm.
You were one of the last people with her. Right across from your house. She's in the woods.
Now, in this interview, there's two other friends Josh mentions. There's Nick, whose interrogation is to come when Joshua's is done. But he also mentions a friend called James Miller. I'm now going to show you a quick sample of the police interview of James Miller. It's audio only. Once this is finished, we will get back to Josh's interrogation.
We're out here at the substation on Jernigan Road, and you're an employee for Gulf Power, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you're out here just doing your regular business, and you had stopped here at the substation to eat lunch. Is that what you told me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At some point, while you were eating lunch or after you ate lunch, you walked out into the woods. Is that correct? The little area, wooded area next to the power station here?
Yes.
Okay, if you would, tell me exactly what happened.
Well, I was in my truck, and Jimmy went walking in the woods. And I was sitting in my truck talking with the other guys that was here eating their lunch. And all of a sudden, Jimmy hollered for Demetrius to come back there, Demetrius Washington. So when we heard him holler, me and Aaron was standing here at the truck. So we wanted to go see what the heck was going on. We thought he found something in the woods or didn't know what it was. So we walked in there, and then Jimmy goes, look in there and y'all tell me that I ain't crazy and I ain't seeing what I think I'm seeing. And all of a sudden, Demetrius looked in there and goes, there's a dead body in there. And I said, no, there ain't. And he said, there's a dead body in there. And I didn't believe him. And I went up to the edge of the woods and I looked in and I seen a rib. And I seen some black around somebody where it should have been the face. And I about threw up. And then I smelt it and it was disgusting. That's what happened, what I'd seen.
So James confirmed to the police him and his friends found the bodies in the woods. We now go back to Joshua's interrogation. If you are liking this video so far, please hit subscribe.
And we're in here hoping, him and I, hoping that you come in here and talk to us. If something bad did happen, Josh, talk to us. We'll work through it, okay? We can't promise you anything. You're not going to get neither one of us to do that. But what we're telling you is we'll talk to you like grown men, and we'll work through everything. We'll work through it the best we can.
Yes, sir.
All right? And hopefully you come in here and you do the right thing and you talk to us and tell us what's going on. Because as you know, when we get you and we're talking to you, we already know a lot.
Yeah, I know that. I understand. My stepdad used to do this.
Your stepdad did? Who's your stepdad?
Rusty Beyonce.
Yeah, he did. So you know what I'm saying? You know, we're not in here slamming you. Not in here, you see that. We're not in here screaming and yelling at you.
Yes, I understand.
But I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you we wouldn't like you to talk to us like a grown adult and tell us what's going on.
I understand that.
I mean, I'd be lying if I'd said otherwise. Hopefully, you talk to us and let's work through this thing and get this thing taken care of. All right? I mean, we're in here now. Should be a huge weight lift off your shoulders, man. You know, take a deep breath and let's get here and talk and let's do the right thing.
That's what I'm trying to do. I don't.
Because we're not in here for no reason,
I understand that.
Josh. We didn't just single you out.
I understand.
You know what I mean? We wouldn't have come got you just to single you out and to hurt you and say, hey, let's go get Josh because he picked up a prostitute before. That's definitely not how this works. Neither him and I would never do anything like that. What we're telling you is we think something bad has happened, or we know it has. We think that you're possibly involved, and we're hoping you'll come in here and talk to us.
No, sir. I can't. There's no way I could hurt somebody like that. I've had a girlfriend before that me and her had arguments, that sort of thing. She's broke my nose, gave me a fat lip. I never did nothing about it. Working at Seville as a bouncer, I had to learn if a girl put her hands on her, there ain't nothing I can do about it. So, I couldn't hurt somebody like that. I couldn't even stand getting in fights myself. Because, as much as I could hate somebody, I still feel like shit afterwards if I hurt them.
Right. Well, I can see it all over your face now. I think you feel like crap now.
Yeah,
That's what I...
finding
that's
out
just,
now that I was the last person to see somebody.
Well, possibly, yeah. It's a strong possibility. I don't know the best way to say it, Lou.
Do you mind describing what kind of sex y'all had and how the sex went? Was it penile vaginal? Or
Yeah.
was it just a blowjob?
Yeah, it was both.
Okay, was it
And
missionary
Yeah.
and anal? Was it rough?
No.
Okay. Everything consensual?
Yeah.
Okay. Use any props?
No.
Just you and her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you use protection?
No, sir. I mean, like I said, I've been drinking that night. Wasn't really thinking. Just one thing led to another, and that's what happened.
Whose birthday was it?
It was my friend Jennifer or my friend Nick and his girlfriend Jennifer.
That was both their birthdays?
Well, they're not at the same time. They're not maybe a week apart, but they just had a party together.
Okay. So the party was for them?
Yeah.
You said this sex was consensual?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you don't recognize this girl?
No, sir.
And when you saw that picture of Jamie on the television, did you think that you should contact us? I mean, you had sex with her?
I honestly thought about it, but I mean, I was just in shock. Kind of made me sick to my stomach. I mean, just thinking about it again, I'm kind of getting a little nauseated myself. But I mean, it was just something I didn't know how to cope with. Like, I mean, I never had somebody killed, so unless they're in a car accident.
Are you positive about the day of the week that the party was?
Yeah, without a doubt, it was Friday.
Without a doubt.
Yes, sir.
And did she say who you were dropping her off to?
No, sir. I just knew that she had a friend that she stayed over there with every now and then, but she never told me who.
Guy or girl?
It was a girl.
Did you ever know Jamie to have a phone?
No, sir.
Did you ever do anything like you like tying girls up or anything like that? Okay.
No, I've had girls.
Nothing freaky, just straight on
No,
sex.
I've had
No
one
sex
of my
story?
ex try to get me like choking her while I was having sex with her, but to me, I can't get into that.
You ever try it?
Mm-mm.
Did you try it on the girl that was asking you to try it?
No, that was my girlfriend.
Okay. You normally have straight sex with prostitutes?
Yes, sir.
And I think the time you were arrested, it was just for oral sex, right?
Yes, sir.
If we were to say that we know you had sex with her, and we know you did more than have sex with her, what would you say?
I don't know what else I did with her other than just sex.
You remember using duct tape?
No. I know there's duct tape missing on my truck, but I ain't never used no duct tape.
Really? Missing out of your truck? What would make you think that there's duct tape missing out of your truck?
Because I always use it. I always use it when I go out working on the farm, working around the house.
Yeah.
I always have it either in my truck or it's in my room or it's in my garage on top of our toolbox.
Do you have any right now?
No, sir.
How do you know it's missing?
Because I went to go use it a couple of days ago and it wasn't in my truck. And I just figured maybe my friend Nick had gotten it when he came over the other day to get his rifle out of my truck.
Okay. What if we said that the tape that's on Jamie has your DNA on it?
Other than me having it in my possession.
Tape's sealed up. It's taped down. I mean, you can't crawl between the adhesive.
Well, I know that.
Okay. So if your DNA is on that tape, how'd it get there?
I don't honestly know. I really don't.
I think you do.
I swear to God, I don't. I mean,
it's all over you, man. I mean, we do this every day.
I know that. I mean,
we can tell you when to talk to us and do the right thing. It's all over you, Josh.
I really don't know. I mean, I was freaking out. I figured I was here for something like be felon probation.
You knew. You knew exactly what it was.
I swear I didn't.
You gonna tell us how you know the other girl?
I don't know her.
Never seen her.
No, sir.
How often do you stay over at Rusty's house?
Never. We back when I was in eighth grade over summer, just ended up moving out. I mean, me and we had one time we got into a big argument, that sort of thing. Got to the point where we just didn't get along for a little bit. Like we get along, then we didn't get along. Then we just got to the finally we're back to normal. But I moved out, live with my dad.
How often you go to your sister's?
Never. Like I can't tell you last time I was ever over there.
You don't talk to her?
I talk to her. She comes to our house like every now and then. Like on Mondays, like she'll eat. Sometimes she'll stay and eat dinner, and she picks up her daughter when she gets off work. I don't know. I mean, all I know is I don't have any in my truck anymore.
And nobody's been in your truck for a month, right?
No, I have people that ride in my truck, but I
Would
mean,
they
stuff
take
falls.
your duct tape with you driving? I mean, because you said nobody else drove it.
No, yeah, nobody's drove it but me. But I have people that ride in my truck all the time with me.
And they're with you. Would they steal your duct tape in front
Yeah.
of you? They would steal it in front of you, and you wouldn't see it? Where do you keep your duct tape?
Just sitting in the seat or on the dash.
It'd be kind of hard to sneak it past you if you're just driving and it's sitting right there in front of you.
I honestly don't pay attention half the time. I mean, my friend Nick, he's gotten it plenty of times and I didn't know it. And I'll call him up needing it or something. And I'll ask him, do you get my duct tape? He's like, yeah, I got it.
Joshua, everything you're saying is just screaming deception. Everything you're saying right now tells me that you are trying to wiggle, squirm, go any kind of direction, but take responsibility. Be a man. Tell us the truth of what's going on, because right now I can see it all over your face, and you're just sitting here trying to make any kind of excuse to put yourself away from it. You're not in this room just to play with us. We brought you in here for a reason,
I know,
okay?
I understand.
And the reason is we want to hear the truth from you. That's all we're after, the
I'm
truth.
Tell him the truth.
You're not telling the truth.
Did you have rough sex with her?
No,
And something happened?
no. I can't get into rough sex.
He's not into rough sex. If you aren't doing it roughly, you're not doing it correctly. Remember, gentlemen, no gloving, no loving. But I had a question for you all. If you look at him, he's 22 years old. 22. If we assume he did assault this girl and then he took her life, what do you think his punishment should be? Imagine at the age of 22, you commit this. Your whole life is gone. What a waste. Anyway, tell me, what kind of punishment do you think he should get? Do you think it was deliberate if he did it?
I mean, like I said, I've had one of my girlfriends before try to talk me into like choking her, like putting my hand weight, like throwing her against the wall or something like that. And that's something I can't do. I don't get into that kind of stuff.
She wanted you to throw her against the wall?
Oh, not like literally throw her against the wall, but like force her against the wall, pin her up against the wall, that sort of thing.
Did y'all do that?
No,
What else did she want you to do with her?
that was it.
Just pin her against the wall?
I mean, it's only
Choke her?
That's it. Yeah. I mean, I can't get into rough sex. It's not my kind of thing.
So you didn't start choking Jamie and maybe something happened
No.
on an accident? I mean,
Jones.
you're in a world of today's the day, man. I don't know how to explain it to you. Today is probably the biggest day of your life. What you're doing right now with him and I, this is the biggest decision you'll ever make in your life. Now you can talk to us and you can tell us what's happened. And we'll all try to work through it. Like I said, I can't promise you nothing. I wouldn't do that. And you can be a man. All right, which is what you need to do. And you can get this big burden lift off of you, which is what you're wanting. It's all over you.
We
Or
realize
we-
it's hard.
Yeah.
We realize this is not an easy thing to say or do. But, you know, the truth will set you free. That you heard that your mom saying that. Truth's going to feel better, man.
And here's a fact. Good people, Josh, make mistakes. I make mistakes every day. Because something happened does not mean you're a bad person. Not at all. Good people make mistakes. I fall short every day, Josh. But what you've got to do is good people man up, though. And take responsibility.
What went wrong, Josh? What went wrong? That's all we want to know. That's really what it comes down to. What went wrong that made this happen? That's all we want to know. Because we don't think you
No,
went
I
there
mean-
to do this.
No, and I mean, And we
I
know
mean,
it happened.
I taped her up. I just don't feel right talking about that. Like I said, I mean, like the choking, I can't do. And she managed to talk me into like taping her up, like where she can't talk, and that sort of thing. Like so, I put tape around her mouth and all around her head, around her face.
And when she stopped breathing, what'd you do?
She never stopped breathing.
When you dragged her out down that trail, and you dragged her down that
I
trail,
didn't do that.
and you put her in the woods, what were you thinking?
I really didn't do that because she didn't never stop breathing. I didn't cover her nose up. I covered her mouth up. That's the only thing I covered up was her mouth.
You realize that, the medical examiner, when they do an autopsy, they can tell us what kind of trauma happens to the inside of a woman. Okay? Yeah. She was tore up, man. And your semen's all in her.
I know
That's why
that.
we're here.
I know.
Your semen's all, your DNA is all over the tape. That's why we're here.
I know. I just told you, yeah, we had sex. I didn't wear a condom. And I ended up getting talked into taping her up.
She was tore up. The medical examiner said it was the worst sexual assault she had ever seen. And she's been doing this a long time. She probably does 20 or so bodies a week. She's probably seen thousands of sexual assaults. And she said this was the absolute worst internal assault she had ever seen. Okay? When you're taping her up and you're sexually assaulting her like that, what happened? What went over the edge?
Nothing. I mean, I had sex with her just like I did any other girl.
Do you always tape them up?
No. She was the first, and the only reason I kind of did was because I didn't have like the kind of relationship feeling like I would for like a girlfriend of mine. So I kind of didn't feel as weird about it as I would with doing it with one of my actual girlfriends.
So then you knew.
So I mean, it was. I figured I'd give it a try one time.
Here's the question, Josh. You had sex with her.
Mm-hmm.
You taped her up. How the hell do you drop her off with tape all over her face? You didn't do that.
I didn't.
You didn't.
No, the only thing she did was just took it off her mouth.
She had it all over her when we found her, Josh.
It's there. It's still on. Why would she be in those woods after having sex with you, after being taped up with you, and be dead if you dropped her off blocks away, Josh? That doesn't make sense. Think about it. Now, you can sit here and tell us this crap all the story, or you can tell us the truth. You're trying to wiggle and squirm. Look, just go ahead. It's going to be hard, but me and him have heard everything you could possibly imagine. We used to work sex crimes. You ain't going to tell us no freaky deaky thing. But what we know what happened, we know something went wrong. We want to know what went wrong. We want to know the moment it went wrong. That's what we want to know. Because you didn't drop her off, and you didn't drop her off with her just pulling her tape off. You placed her in those woods with that tape there. And you're describing what we saw when we found the body, which means we definitely know that you were there and you saw her there in the woods with that tape pulled off her mouth. Because this is exactly right. And the only person besides law enforcement that know that is you. And you know why? Because you were there when she was dead. And we know that. You've just proved it to us. Now, the only question is, what happened to put you there at that moment in time? What went wrong?
She really wasn't dead when I left. Was not.
What
with
was she
her.
doing? She's suffering? Crying?
No.
Dude, you left her in the woods. You didn't drop her off, did you? You left her in those
I did
woods.
drop her off. I swear.
And she walked all the way? That's more than a little walk. And the way you got to go to get there, I know that area.
With tape all over.
You'd have to go all the way to Airway, and then you have a choice to go all the way up the 9 Mile Road, all the way to Johnson Avenue, go all the way down to Chisholm Road, and come back up or down, and cut across JoJo to get across that field. And Josh, there's no way in this earth that she did that. Okay? Not nude. She's nude, Josh. She's nude. We're not. Look, we're trying to see what went wrong. But this outlandish story ain't going to fly, okay? Tell us the truth. Let's just get past this. You're going to feel better, and we're going to know. We'll have answers for this family.
Closure.
We'll have answers. You understand me? You're there. Look, let me tell you. You're not going anywhere. All you got to do is tell us what went wrong. That's all we want. Look at me, Josh. That's all we want. Just tell us. We already know what happened. I just want to know why it happened. It's going to feel better. Just go ahead and say it. Just us in here. It starts with,
I just don't know what to say, man. I got
Josh, she's nude in the woods. You're with her. Start there. Did you pick those woods to have sex? I don't think so. You took her those woods. We can see where you dragged her on the ground there. Tell us what went wrong. Why'd you have to put her there? That's what we want to know. You know those woods like the back of your hand. You grew up across the street. What went wrong, Josh?
anyway. I might be able to just talk to my stepdad.
Maybe after we talk to you for a little bit. I'm sure we can arrange to talk to him one day. Okay? And here's the other burning thing. Why'd you cut her afterwards?
I ain't cut
And
nobody.
she was dead at this point. She was dead at this point. You know, Josh, look at me.
I ain't cut nobody. You
Okay,
can ask
Josh,
my girlfriend
Was
that I
somebody
got
with
right.
you? Were you
No,
alone?
I was with myself.
Okay. When you left her nude and on the ground there, what made you take her there? What made you put her in the woods right there?
Put her there.
Josh, your story, think about it. I dropped this nude girl off taped up 3 blocks from where she ends up dead. No way. Come on.
Had an apartment complex with a bunch of people.
No
I didn't
way.
drop her off in the
That would have been
Well,
nice.
right out
Had you
front.
done that, we wouldn't be here, Josh. Had you done that, we wouldn't be here. The reason why we're here is because that's not what you did. Okay? It's pretty simple. All we're after is what happened. We want to know what went wrong. Tell us what went wrong, Josh.
I have.
You taped her up. You had rough sex. What went wrong?
We
after
didn't
that?
have rough sex.
The worst sexual assault she's ever
You can
seen.
ask my girlfriend I have right now. I don't have rough sex.
I don't want to ask your girlfriend you have now. This is a different scenario, man.
I know, but
This is you and us being in here being real.
and I am.
That's all this is. No, you're not, Josh. And when you keep telling us these crazy stories, we're not playing games with you, but we're going to keep tricking you up. And I don't think it's tricking. It's just us doing our job because we
I
know
understand that.
we know what happened. And when you tell us these outlandish stories, it's killing you. It's killing you. The best thing you can do right now is man up, Josh, and tell us what happened. That's the best thing you can do. That's all I can tell you.
Tell us what happened.
I
Did she
have.
tell you
That's-
something about her that upset you?
No,
You sure about that?
positive.
What happened? Was it an accident?
Nothing was an accident. I didn't do anything.
Dude, a girl doesn't get nude, sexually taped up by you, and then end up dead. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I just rather talk to my dad right now and get me an attorney because I done said everything I know. I mean, that's all I did. That's all I remember it. I did that night. I mean, if I had did it, I mean, yo, I seen it right behind my house. If I did it, I would have been running by now. I mean, I didn't know what was going on.
Well, I mean, Josh, unfortunately, man, you're not going home tonight.
I'm kind of feeling that now. Is there any way I can make a phone call to my dad?
We'll see.
When they book you, they'll get a phone call. That's how it works.
I didn't know
I'm sure
if
you're
I'd
aware
make
of
it.
that. Let's go ahead and put that cuff back on, bud. You got it.
Yes, sir. My girlfriend's birthday is the 27th.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
we
and
had.
that was a Saturday y'all had this party?
Yes, sir.
Where was it at?
It was can't remember the exact address. It's Pine Blossom Road.
Was it somebody's house?
Yes, sir. It was at Jennifer's house.
Okay. Jennifer, what's her last name?
Powell.
Okay. And did you go and get him, or he
No.
meet y'all over there?
No, he met me over there. I went over there earlier that morning to help her set up for the
Okay.
party.
So he drove over there himself?
He had another buddy of ours, James, drive him over,
Okay.
come pick him up.
Did
from
James
his
take
house.
him home as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that was a Saturday, for sure.
That was a Saturday for sure.
For sure.
For sure, because my cousins were in town. I had taken them hunting that morning. Came back home. I packed my clothes, went to her house to cut wood, and I went to her house to cut wood and get everything set up for the party.
Hold on a second. Could somebody bring me a picture of victim number 1, please? And victim number 2? Okay.
He had called me earlier that day and said that he was supposed to come get me to take me, but I ended up getting a car to go over there.
Okay.
So I went to her house probably about 3:00.
What time do you remember when he left or when the party was over?
He left somewhere around 1:30 and 2.
Okay. So he left wee morning hours.
Yes, sir.
And James is with him.
James was with him. Yes,
You
sir.
know how to get a hold of James?
Let
Get his number or something?
me see if I have his
You know his last name?
Miller.
James. Okay. So, did you see him Sunday?
No,
The day after the party, you didn't see him?
I did
Was
not
that
see-
unusual, or
It was just a normal thing.
Okay.
I stayed at Jennifer's house that night
Mhm.
because it was like a birthday party for both of us, and we decided we'll stay. We're gonna have a party there. We'll set up a tent in the backyard.
Yeah.
Have a good time. And her son was inside with her mother asleep, so we went and slept in the tent, like right there by the fire. And I got up probably about 11:00 and went home.
Okay. And when was the next time you saw him after that party?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
And
for
day, night,
Tuesday afternoon.
and what circumstances?
I just called him and said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Sitting here in bed." I drove by his house.
Is that unusual for him, or is he
No,
normally?
he normally just sits in his bed and watches TV.
Okay. Let me ask you. Did he seem any different? Did you go see? You saw him that Tuesday afternoon. You went and saw him, right?
Yes.
Did he seem unusual at all?
Mm-mm.
Anything bothering him?
Mm-mm.
Okay, great. And when did you hear about the 2 girls getting murdered over there by his house?
Whenever it was on Channel 3 when they started giving names.
Did you recognize either one of them?
No.
You ever seen either one of them?
Mm-mm.
Did he and you talk about it at all?
No.
Did he ever mention he knew one of them?
Mm-mm.
He mentioned having sex with one of them.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, we talked about it, but it wasn't like talking about it like that. I had seen it on TV, and I
Yeah.
called him, and I was like, "Dude, there was a girl that was found behind your house at the substation."
Oh,
And he
yeah.
was- and he was
Is
like-
that Tuesday afternoon or before that?
That was
We found him Monday night.
I guess
And
it-
it
I
probably
guess-
hit the news Tuesday.
I guess it was Monday night because my dad works for Gulf Tower,
Yeah.
and he had heard about it, and he said, "Look on the news."
And
He
did
said-
you see it on the news at that
I
time?
seen on the news that they had found some bodies, but they didn't give any identification.
I don't
until,
think it hit the news till Tuesday, though.
I think that was it. It was on the news because my dad had said something about something was going on at the Gulf Tower substation. My mom works on 9 Mile Road, and she drove by it and seen a bunch of cops out there, and she was like, "There's something going on out there."
Yeah.
And we thought that somebody had broken into the substation and got
Right.
fried. And then we seen on the TV that they found a girl, but I never seen the other one.
Okay. Oh, so you've only seen one picture.
I've
You
only
saw the
I've only
first one they
seen
released.
on the TV. Yes,
Right.
It was the girl from Brownsville that I seen on the TV
Right.
because I remember hearing her name.
Yeah.
And
Jamie Broxton, ring a bell? That the name?
yeah,
Right.
that was it because I remember my sister has a Facebook, and my Facebook account is set up to get WER3's
News links.
news links.
Yeah.
And I seen a picture and it said Jamie Broxton. And there was a comment under it. Says this is Jamie Broxton from Washington High School, and my sister goes to Washington.
Okay.
And she
What
was
school
like,
did you go to?
I went to Washington, and for 2 years, and then I was homeschooled. It was actually an umbrella school at Christian Institute of Arts and Sciences.
Okay. And you called him up when you heard about this because you knew he had to live right there.
Yeah, he lived. Yeah, I knew he lived right there, and I was like, dude, there was a girl found behind your house. When I
How
seen
did
it
he
on
react?
TV. He was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I have to watch the news here in a minute. And then that was it.
And nervous twitch a little bit.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Okay. I want to
It
get a
really-
recorded statement. We're going to
Okay.
kind of go over that again,
it
just so
kinda-
I can get it recorded.
Yes, sir.
But he says he normally has duct tape in his truck and that he is missing it now. Do you know anything about that?
No.
Okay.
I've seen him have duct tape in there maybe once or twice, but
It's not one of those usual things he normally has.
he has it in there sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't. He uses, I know that he was using, there was duct tape in his truck, and it was to use to put his sodas or whatever in because he didn't have a cup holder.
Does he normally carry a knife?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of knife? Pocket knife?
He
Long
usually,
knife?
he
What?
usually carries a pocket knife.
How would you know? Is he always playing with it?
He's always got it in his pocket.
Is it one of those little ones or big one? Or
It's probably about like that.
is that the blade or the whole thing and the blade?
It's well, when the blade's unfolded, it's like the blade's like that, and the whole thing's probably about like that when it's unfolded all the way.
Okay, so it's probably a good 4-inch blade or
Yeah.
something like that. And you ever known him to have problems with girls, be upset with them? Has he
Not
got
all the
issues?
time.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
And your understanding was James Miller, I think, took Joshua over there to the party
Yes,
and
sir.
took him back from the party.
Yes, sir.
And you said he left about 1 or 1:30. What made you know he left about 1 or 1:30?
Him and James both walked up to me and said they were leaving to go home.
Okay. And okay, you remember the time because you looked at your watch, or you thought, well, it's kind of late, or they the last ones there,
My sister just called me right before they left.
and you knew what time she would call
And
you?
yes, I had seen it on the phone.
Okay, cool, fair enough. And you had heard about the murders, the girls being found at least in the
on
woods,
TV.
and you knew it was across from Joshua's house.
Yes, sir.
And you called him when you learned this.
I called him when I learned this to find out if he had heard.
All right, so you called him at his house,
Yes,
and
sir.
you think it was probably Tuesday.
It was Tuesday.
Okay. And you remember was it before you went over there, obviously?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So maybe the morning or early afternoon?
Well, it was.
Did you call him and then go right over there? Or?
No. I called him. I called him earlier that morning,
Okay.
and before they had showed a picture,
Right.
and I said there was somebody killed behind your house, and
Yeah.
he was like, really?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, and he was like, I have to watch the news later.
Right.
And then later that day, I was over at my mom's office on 9 Mile Road, and I called him to see what he was doing, and I stopped by his house just to check on him, just to make sure he was all right.
Right.
And
Were there
probably-
still cop cars over there?
yes,
and
sir.
stuff?
There was still a crime
Okay. Was
scene.
there a big
There was
giant bus?
Still a crime scene
Okay.
bus, and the ESAR was out there. 'Cause I
Okay.
remember seeing them walking down the road.
Okay. And did he seem concerned with it?
Not really.
Okay. I mean, y'all just talked about it briefly, and he was surprised, and that was about the end of the conversation?
Yeah, that was the only conversation. All I said was I seen on the news that there were some people killed behind your house at the substation. And he seemed kind of surprised, and he said he'd watch the news later, and that's the last that we talked about it.
Okay. You said something about him saying about sex. What was that about?
About
Him having sex? Were you talking about the prostitute thing? Is that what you're talking about at that time?
oh yes, sir.
Okay, tell me about that. What did he say?
This was probably
Hold on, I got the picture here. This is Deborah Ann Jones. You recognize her?
no,
Not all? Ever seen
not
her?
at all. I've
Okay.
never seen her.
Okay, great. That's what I wanted to know. Okay, so what did he say about it?
That was when all this happened. That was back when he was on drugs. He got arrested for drugs,
Mhm.
and I noticed I was looking up on his record. I was just looking up to see what he was charged with, and it said that something about picking up a prostitute. And I asked him about it, and he said that it was when he was going down Johnson Avenue, right there where Mr. B's used to be.
Right.
He said that there was a prostitute standing there, and he pulled over. He was just gonna mess with her, and when she went to go put her hand on the door handle, he said that she was actually an undercover cop, and I was like, whatever.
Right.
He said, so I got charged with prostitution too. And I said, okay, whatever. I ain't even worried about it.
Right.
You know, that's your business.
Okay. Let me kind of digress, just kind of step back for a second. Just to let you know, obviously this is a homicide investigation. I told you that when I first met you, that I'm a homicide investigator. You want to be very careful that you tell me only the truth.
Yes, sir.
Because you don't want to get jammed up in the
Yeah, that's what I'm-
accessory after the fact.
That's what I'm.
Okay,
Yeah.
you seemed like you're. I
Yes,
just
sir.
wanted to make sure you
Yeah.
knew. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, I'm going to check up on everything you
That's
tell me, and we want to verify stuff.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate your cooperation so far. Now, question I had for you was, after Tuesday, when did you see him again?
Friday.
Friday. Okay. And what was going on then?
I was coming back from Mike's gun shop. I was getting a scope put on my rifle. I had taken it home, and I was going back up to Mike's to give them the rest of my payment. And I stopped by his house to check on him. I normally stop by his house maybe once or twice a week to just make sure he's doing good.
Did you do anything?
He wasn't. He was just laying on the couch.
Okay. Now, who would you say besides you are his closest friends?
Mm. Probably it's gonna have the next one is probably gonna have to be his ex-girlfriend,
Who's that?
Brittany
Brittany what?
Barton.
Besides her, who's next? Is there any guys he hangs out besides you?
Um,
And I guess this James Miller, is James really?
he's not. Him and James aren't really close. James is actually my sister's boyfriend's brother.
He's just helping him out with the ride. And
Yeah,
stuff.
he was. Me and James are friends,
Mhm.
and James knows Josh, but they're not really good friends. But James was coming from Beulah to Milton, and Josh said that he didn't have enough gas to get out there. So I called James to see if he could drop by Josh's house to pick him up.
Okay, well, that's cool of him. Anybody else? Who else would he be hanging with besides you?
He's got a lot of friends that I don't know.
He's got a lot of Facebook friends.
Yeah,
Are they close to him or just old schoolmates?
some of them I don't know. Some of them are people that he knows from meeting other people through other people and all that. The only me and Brian, my other buddy,
Brian, who?
Gossip. We used to be real good friends. Me and Brian and Josh used to be all really good friends. And Brian got married and had a baby, and he kind of like broke away from Josh. And
How
then
long ago was that? They got married.
a year and a half.
Year and a half. Marriage has certainly changed.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes, sir. And
yeah.
I've contemplated on not hanging out with Josh, but we've been friends for so long, and I knew he had drug problems that as long as I went by and checked on him, I could never notice when he was on drugs, but now that he's off of drugs, I can tell the difference between the two.
Right.
So I'll go by and check on him and just
make sure he's
not on drugs, make sure he's not high
Have
or
you
whatever.
had any relapses you know of anytime recently?
No.
Okay. In the past month, have you noticed anything unusual about him?
No, not really.
No.
He's been sleeping a lot.
Okay.
A lot more than he used to. But I just thought that
Is he been out of work for a while and
he's
maybe
been out of
lazy or?
Yeah, he's been out of work probably about 3 months. A month
I
and a
guess
half,
his parents are
maybe.
supporting him.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He's just doing little side jobs in the neighborhood, cutting grass and stuff.
Okay.
His parents are supporting him. But when he doesn't have a job, he likes to go out at night
Yeah,
and do all kinds of stuff. And I've got too much stuff going on
to do that.
to do that.
So he rides solo, I guess.
pretty
lot.
much, yeah.
Okay.
So, to conclude in this case, the police did not charge Joshua with the death of Deborah, only the death of Jamie. He was found guilty in court, and the jury recommended the death penalty. However, the judge in the case sentenced him to life in prison. It seems the DNA evidence is what worked against him the most. Comment, tell me what you think.